Okay, welcome to week 2. This unit, if you will, this week we're going to be talking about the alphabet of lines. And it's just that. The lines on a drawing, along with the symbols, serves as an alphabet, if you will, for the language that we use in communicating with technical drawings. And so we have different line types. They have different patterns. They have different thicknesses that are used. And on our CAD drawings, we assign different colors to the layers to make them easier to differentiate. So, but this week you'll be learning about the alphabet of lines. And so I want to hit a couple of things in the textbook here with you before you get started too far into it. If you're using the ebook, you'll see this little icon right here at a lot of the chapters. And if you click it, I think it should take you to these online study guide things. And so there's flashcards, there's additional activities that you can do. I think you will have access to these. I'm not totally sure because I've got the instructor version, if you will, of the ebook. But I think you've got access to those. Okay. You're going to see this a lot in this course, this ASME, which stands for the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. And the Y14.2 is the document standards for drafting or for technical drawing. So you're going to see that term quite often throughout the course. And if you will, it is the standard that all businesses and industries should follow for American drafting. Okay, now if you're talking metric drawings, then there's, while metric is covered under the ASME standard, there's a different standard for that for international type drawings. Anyway, so you read through this chapter. This gives you an idea of the different line types here, what they are. I want to discuss cutting planes versus viewing planes. Now, the patterns are interchangeable depending upon who's drawing them, but a cutting plane is used to create a section view. Excuse me, and it's like if you were to cut the piece and then rotate it to look inside it. Okay, whereas a viewing plane would be drawn to the outside of the object so that you know, okay, this partial view, it wouldn't be a whole left side view, if you will, but just a partial view of that particular surface. Once we get down to the page of the drawings, I'm going to address some of these with you here, okay? So like this line right here would be a section, creating a section right here, which this would be a cutting plane. Okay, so it's like we're taking this object right here, we're cutting it, and then moving the view over here to the side so that we can see what the inside of this object looks like. And a section view will have material hatching that indicates what type of material that the object is made of. Okay, and this one up here is a viewing plane line because it creates a view from outside of the object, and it's a partial view just of that little piece there. Okay, so that's the difference between the line types themselves are interchangeable. Could be, continuous dashes, could be 2 dashes, it could be a big open blank spot in the middle. Okay. Visible lines, hidden lines. Okay, so center lines. Anytime you have a circle, or sometimes you may have it with a piece of a circle, an arc, you may have what we call a center mark. And here you have like a little plus symbol or a cross in the middle, and then lines that radiate out. whereas a center line is a single line with the dash in the middle. And if it's long enough, you could have multiple dashes in with the line types. Okay, and I know most of you are taking 1101 or have already taken it, so you're going to be familiar with drawing center lines and center marks. You have to remember that the center lines extend outside of the object, anywhere from like 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. Okay. If we have a cutting plane through a circle like this, you do not draw a center line under the cutting plane line. This is what is covered under what's known as a hierarchy of lines, in that if you have multiple lines in the same location, which one has hierarchy, which one has precedence that you would draw. And a cutting plane line is more important than a center line. So there is no center line underneath that. Okay, dimension lines. Okay, so here's an example of a viewing plane here, and we're creating a view of the inside of this channel, because if we look at a right side view, we've got all these hidden lines, and we rarely dimension to a hidden line. We try to avoid it at all costs. So we can create a view, which would this appear, view AA, of what this boss looks like. And we can do our dimensioning up here for that. Okay, break lines. A long break line is used when you have a long object that you're taking a substantial portion of it out. If you could imagine doing a drawing of a broom or a mop, okay? You wouldn't want to draw the entire broom handle because it's the same diameter all the way down. All you really need to know is what the two ends look like. So we could use a long break line and then dimension it as its overall length. Okay. Whereas a short break line, it's like if we're going to do a partial view, like this one would be a partial view, because the object is symmetrical all the way around. So we could do a break on it so that we don't have to draw the whole rest of it. Or we would do a broken out section so that we're showing what the inside looks like inside that break. So those are the difference between those two. Whereas when you have cylindrical objects, you have these two different types of breaks here. And these are an S shape. If it's a solid piece, it's drawn like that with hatching. If it's a tubular, like a piece of pipe, then you get an extra ellipse in the middle with some hatching on it there. Okay. A phantom line is to indicate something that has motion, like this little arm right here pivots around one point and can move to a certain point. So you draw a phantom line to show its alternate position. In other words, how far can it go in that direction? Okay, and then a center line is added to it to show what we would call path of motion. Okay, now also they're used if we're doing new construction against an existing part, so we would use it there, or in the case here of repeated details. There's no need to draw every coil of the spring if we're drawing this manually or in AutoCAD. So we could use a phantom line to show the repetition of it. Okay. Okay, chain lines. Chain lines are used in a lot of different situations, okay? So it kind of depends on the industry and the company. So, you can read that there. Lettering. It's good that you can do some hand lettering so that when you do sketches, and invariably in your job, you will have to do some sketches, whether you're going out to a job site or out on the shop floor, and you have to take some measurements and do some sketches and make some notes. So you need to practice printing neatly so that when you bring your sketches back, somebody else could read them. Okay, we no longer draft by hand, so the precision in making these letters is not as critical as it used to be. But you do need to be able to make notes that are clear and concise. Okay, so you're going to do these questions. And when you get to industry print exercises, okay, and this will happen all throughout this book, the industry print is this larger print here. And it could be, this one is embedded in the page. Sometimes they're on the very next page. Okay. But you can download them like I showed you in the other, in the introductory video. And if you download them, they come in as a PDF, and then you can right-click it and rotate it so that you've got the whole drawing that you can look at, as opposed to, jumping back and forwards, on the page here, back one page and forward one page. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of alphabet of lines and what you'll need to be looking for in this. If you've got questions, send me an email or come see me in the lab.